Crystal Palace, they've beaten Liverpool in the Community Shield.
Yep.
They've beaten the Premier League, as we've just seen the winning goal there. Why are they proving such a bogey team, if you believe in that, for Liverpool?
Well, you only got to listen to Arne Slot to realise why, because everything he comes out publicly, which is, I don't see the logic in it, is everything Palace do against them. Low block, direct, long throws, everything Liverpool doesn't like, that's what's going to come at them at Anfield tonight. Arne is adamant that he just go his team, and I love it as a neutral. They'll go on the front foot. They won't take draws. They go all out to try and win games. We see him winning early on in the season, late on, kept going till the end. But it's going to be very difficult for them. Palace will have their eye on this competition. They won the FA Cup last year. There's no reason. This is the easiest one to win out of all the competitions. And it'll be really interesting to see what squad, what team Arne Slot plays tonight. For me, has to go all out to win this football match.
Like he did in the Champions League last week, and they won, I think it was 5-1, wasn't it? But then they didn't back that up at the weekend with a win in the Premier League. Yeah. Now, Arne Slot, he didn't speak to the media yesterday before the game. Should say he was not obliged to speak to the media before the game yesterday. In the third round, so the round before, he didn't speak to the wider media, but did speak to the in-house media. What do we read into the fact that there was nothing at all yesterday?
I don't think we read too much into it. He didn't do it in the third round, so why should he do it this time? One thing I could say is, though, it's really easy to speak to the media when you're winning football matches. You know, you're bouncing up after the game. Where are they? Let's go and have a chat, and then big up your team, big yourself up. When you're losing games, some of those difficult questions, you have to answer them, and they continue. They're repetitive. You have to keep going at the same things, you know. And sometimes he's a little bit too honest, in my opinion, Arne Slot, with his appraisal of the game. It's great for a neutral. But when you're sitting in that dressing room, or you're one of the board of directors, and you're looking at him tell the whole world what his team doesn't like and what opposition come with, the ammunition they come with, which they can't deal with at the moment, it's quite alarming and quite strange.
Do managers still believe in getting the media on side? Because it used to be that way, didn't it? The media could make or break a manager to a certain extent.
I think so.
In the old days. Is it still as important now to keep the media on side?
Yeah, I think, well, I remember Sir Alex Ferguson saying to me, you know, you get 2 games a week. One's a football match and one's a press conference. And sometimes it's more important you win the press conference. You keep them on side. Takes the pressure off you a little bit. Obviously, ultimately, you need to win games sooner rather than later. But if you can keep them on your side and keep the noise down, the outside noise, especially. But he's a Liverpool manager. He won the Premier League last year. They're the champions. They've signed some huge players on huge amounts of money. What does he expect? I don't think he's complaining about it, Arne Slot. I really don't, but I'm sure he expects it. That's part and parcel of managing a huge football club who are the champions of the league.
Yeah, they are. Well, let's bring in a Liverpool supporter right now. Sky Sports have partnered with Finalysis, an app where passionate fans share their opinions on their club. If you want to represent your club, you can do. Go to the Sky Sports app for more details. Jamie Story has done just that. OK, let's get your point of view. Jamie, are alarm bells starting to ring about your season?
Morning. Yeah, I think 4 losses in the league in a row, 5 and 6. I think alarm bells have to be going off right now. It is worrying. The performances, I think, at the start of the season, they maybe weren't there. And you can kind of maybe say you're kind of gearing up. You're maybe new players bedding into the team. But now it's coming to a point where the results aren't there and the performances aren't there. So you are getting a little bit worried right now. And yeah, Crystal Palace, as you've been talking about there, are a bit of a bogey team for Liverpool. So we'll see how tonight goes.
Jamie, which players? Just give me 2 players. I mean, I'll name them myself after you say it. What 2 players are you looking for to stand up and show everyone the way to go at the moment? Lead them.
Yeah, I think the obvious 2 you would go to are the leaders in the team, which are Salah and Van Dijk. And I think right now their performances haven't been there. I think Salah you're probably more looking to because of how high his level was last year in terms of goals, assists, like one of the best ever seasons we've seen in Premier League. And yeah, I think those 2 are the leaders in the team. They've been there before. And I think they should be leading by example, which they're not doing right now.
Do you have faith they will come to the party, James?
Yeah, I do. I think going against them at your own peril, to be honest. Like they've so much experience, and I think the dip in form teams are obviously identified a weakness in Liverpool, and I think we'll maybe talk about a little bit about that in a minute. But they've identified a weakness, and Liverpool aren't dealing with that weakness. So when it comes to maybe getting results, we're constantly on the back foot and having to chase games, and we're playing almost into team's advantage, and that's what's causing us issues.
Were they the two players you were going to say, Tim? Salah and
Absolutely.
Van Dijk?
I think the whole Liverpool Football Club would say them too. They're so important, and it's so instrumental in your success. So we can't be too harsh on them, but now's the time to stand up.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Jamie, there will be a follow-up question to this, but do you still think you can win the league?
I came on last week and I said yeah. I think right now 7 points isn't the end of the world, especially at this stage of the season. But my worry is more the case of what are the results going to be going forward. Like we have Aston Villa at the weekend, then we have Man City away, and then we have Forest, who are going to be difficult with Sean Dyche. Like those 3 games could be potentially, like the way we're playing right now, that would be 3 defeats. I'm hoping we can turn it around. We can maybe see something tonight, and then against Villa at the weekend. Real Madrid the following in the Champions League then as well. But right now, I think it's going to be a very difficult position, especially with the way Arsenal are playing and the way we are.
So if you can still win the Premier League, and you mentioned the Champions League there as well, how bothered are you about tonight?
No, I think, listen, when you're a club the size of Liverpool, you should be going to win every competition. I think with the performances we've seen from the team and some of these players, they need to step up. They can't just be saying that because this is a Carabao Cup game that they can't take it as a priority. I think they should be going out to show that they have levels there to move into. We've seen it last week against Frankfurt, who maybe didn't put up the strongest opposition, but at the end of the day, you need to go out and win every game when you play for Liverpool, and I think that's what we need to see tonight. We need to see good performances and a good result.
Do you think Arne Slot's team selection would have changed because they lost at the weekend? I'm sure it has. From this game, moving forward, if he would have won the last 3 games, I'm sure he would have played a B-side tonight. I don't think he can now.
Yeah, he might have rested some players, but I think some players that haven't been shining or haven't been put in performances, like you look at, if you were to go through the team, I think only maybe Szoboszlai and Ekitike could say that they've been the value for money this season.
Yeah.
And I think they should be going out and they should want to go out and put on a performance and say, this is the type of player that I am. This is the quality that I can show. So, yeah, I think Slot will maybe go with a stronger team than what he has maybe previously. If he wanted to go for a B team, then I think he should be going for a stronger team and going out to get a result tonight.
There's a WhatsApp message on the screen now from Steve, who says, Liverpool lose tonight and Villa at the weekend. I think Slot is on seriously dangerous thin ice. I can see that Tim does not agree with that. What do you think, Jamie?
No, I think... Listen, I think sacking a manager because of obviously the results right now, and I don't think that's something that Liverpool do. They're not very reactive like that. Obviously, a manager is going to come under pressure when the results are there, like Tim was saying earlier on. When you're winning games and you're going to press conferences, it's all rosy and you're happy. But when you're losing games, you're answering the same questions over and over again. But I don't think sacking a manager right now is the right thing to do. There's a lot of new players in the team. I think you can maybe question some of his remarks in press conferences, like the long balls, and teams have obviously understood that that's how we can get at Liverpool.
Well, what have you made of that, though? What have you made of him saying, yes, we are struggling with this? Because it's kind of like an invitation to say, yeah, do this to us, because we don't know how to cope with it.
Well, I think being Dutch, and even like if you go to last season, he was very honest in his press conferences. And teams in the Premier League aren't going to be stupid. They will identify that is an issue with Liverpool, regardless of whether he said it or not. But he's coming out and saying it because it's something that he's noticed. My concerns with it is that if Liverpool have identified it, other teams know it's a weakness, then we need to be able to stand up and come up against it. You go to the game against Brentford, you know how they're going to play. We conceded 17 shots against them, which is the most in the league this season. And the first long throw they score from, and we're not dealing with it, and we know the way they're going to play. So that would be my issue. It doesn't really matter whether teams know it or not. It's a matter of the fact that they do know it right now, and we're not dealing with it, and that's the concern.
Jamie, if I can give you any hope, mate, from my point of view, I would say Liverpool will win 10 games on the spin. Not from now, necessarily, but they will put a run together, and they will go 15, possibly, without losing a game. So they are in this title race for sure.
I like it. To be honest, if you go back to last season, we lost against Forest on I think it was the 15th of September, and then we didn't lose another game until Fulham on the 27th of April. It was a 27-game unbeaten run. So we do have it in us. It's just whether we can kind of find that consistency, which we're not.
See if you're too far behind, possibly. Like I say, exactly. You can't win the league now, but you can lose it.
Yeah, we need to stay within touch and distance, and then just obviously hope that some of the players obviously start to ramp up.
Yeah.
And then we start seeing the performances and the results. But we need to stay within touch and distance. It's huge.
Yeah, Tim, there's probably a question for you, actually. Federico Chiesa has said that there was silence in the dressing room after that Brentford defeat. OK, so silence. And he says it's a positive because everyone wants to change. If you were captain or manager, Tim, would silence in the dressing room after a defeat be a good thing or a bad thing?
I think they're shocked. I think they're shocked at the moment, looking around, thinking, well, what's that, 5 now? I mean, silence is a good thing. Normally, back in the day, when a manager used to come in the dressing room, either at half-time or after the game, he used to wait till the players stopped fighting with each other if he had a bad result, and then he would say, right, now sit down, listen to me, get a bit of sense into it. I think that players have changed now. It's not ranting and raving and shouting. It doesn't happen anymore. The silence, I think, is a positive. It's the fact that it's a shock that they're losing, but someone then has to have a voice. Apparently, they've had this meeting, between the players. It didn't work this time. It will work next time. They've got the quality. They have to believe when they look around the dressing room. They've done it, course and distance. They were champions. It will turn, but we can't lose too much ground. And I would suggest, if you can't win a football match, do not lose it. And that's what 100%. They're doing at the moment.
Yeah. What do you think, Jamie?
I think to go back to the point of quiet in the dressing room, I suppose it depends on what way they usually deal with defeats. You know what I mean? If you go in and you're shouting constantly after every loss, then you're not really getting too much from it. But I'd say, there's probably a little bit of a shell shock within the team. We haven't seen this many defeats in years, and I think the performance is probably the worst I've seen since maybe when Suarez left, in terms of the levels that we're putting in right now, which is a big concern. But I think you need to obviously show the quality that you have to go out and perform, because this is a team that has just won the league. They have quality players in the team. They have signed some world superstars that haven't been able to turn it on right now, but they have that quality. So we just need to be able to go out and show it. And I think that starts tonight against Crystal Palace. Yeah, good luck to you, Jamie. Thank you.
I think, maybe in the start of the season we got sometimes a better result maybe than it could have been, and I think now we get sometimes we don't get the fair results, how the game is going, or fair. We feel sometimes we deserved more, and maybe at the beginning we felt sometimes we got more than we deserved. So, and over a season, we expect us having close to 55 games, there will be a balance. Yeah? And let's say maybe we got a few more points at the beginning, and now we have a little bit less than we want to have. But the way we are playing, I think, is very consistent. I think it's one of our most consistent periods since we work together with this group. So again, we are very, very calm.
Welcome to Sky Sports Fan Club, your chance to join the debate on today's biggest issues. We're talking Liverpool, Manchester City, West Ham, and a new use for VAR. That's all before midday. Tim Sherwood is here until then. 5 defeats in 6 for the champions Liverpool. Tim, is it enough to say it's a crisis?
It's turning into that, unfortunately, for Liverpool. It's because Arsenal are going so well at the top. You can't win the league now, but you can certainly lose it. And they need to put that right in the Premier League. But the next game is the Carabao Cup. And like I said, the trophy is dished out in March. I think it's a good opportunity to give a boost for the camp. We see what they've done last year. They went to Plymouth and threw that away by changing too many players. That was in the FA Cup. That was in January. But it was a small prize for them there. At the moment, I think they've got to take a win and get the confidence going, especially at Anfield.
Big game tonight.